Alright, welcome back. So in this video we're going to show you how to use a while loop to count. So let's go ahead and we'll kind of space down here a little bit and set up a while. So we're going to say while, and we'll use the variable called a, is less than 5. We'll just make it pretty simple. Okay, so we'll say while that while loop is less than 5, we want it to do something. So let's go ahead and create our brackets down here, and we want it to do a couple different things. Okay, so let's have that a, well, let's first discuss this a second. So this variable a, we're saying while a is less than 5. To enter this while loop, we do have to first declare this up here. So let's make this 0. Okay, so a is going to start out with 0. It's going to enter the loop, and we want it to say that it's going to do something within this loop so long as a is less than 5. So the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and print this out here a minute. And we'll do a. Okay, so we're just going to print a. And then what we want to do is we're going to have a increment by 1. Now you could do this a couple different ways. You know, in Java we can actually just do a plus, and then it will just increment by 1. You could also say that a is going to be equal to a plus 1. You could do either one of those. It's probably easiest just to do increment by 1. So what's going to happen here is we're going to start out, it's just going to be 0 to enter the while loop because 0 is less than 5. And you could do this with any number. Maybe you wanted to count from 1 to 20. And just say you start with 1, and you're going to say so long as that number is less than 5, it's going to go ahead and keep running through the loop. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and print a and just increment by 1 here. So what happens in this loop is it enters here, it's going to print the number, which will be 0 the very first time, and then it's going to increment by 1, go back through, and now it will be 1, so it'll go through 1, and then it'll keep printing over and over. So let's go ahead and run this a second. Ah, yes, forgot the semicolon. Okay, let's go ahead and run that again. Ah, goodness. Let's make that an integer. There. So now we see that it printed 0, right? Because it's first time through, the variable was just 0. And then the next time through, as it incremented by 1, it comes back through the loop. It has still less than 5, so it's going to print a again, which will be 1. And then we're going to increment it by 1 again, so it's going to go up by 1, and so on. Now, if you wanted to do this where you wanted it to do, you know, even numbers or something like that, you could do that. You could even do this with an input, and you could ask for an input and figure out which number they're going to have, you know, first. They can pick the number your user could, and they can enter a number, and then you could just have it increment that by however many you wanted to do that. Okay, so this is how you kind of set up just a count with a while loop. Makes it pretty simple, right? If I wanted to make this 10 instead, pretty simple. I can just run it again, and then it's going to do 1 through 9. Now if I wanted to make sure it ended on 10, then I would just do less than or equal to. Oops. Or I could make this 1 more than this too. What if we ran like this? Then it's going to include 10. Okay. All right, so anyways, this is how you make a count using a while loop in Java. Hopefully that helps you with your coding.